Mr. Young and Foreign.
Kick to the gut!
Your podcast sucks!
Hey, happy National Day, bro.
Happy National Day. Happy National Day weekend. Yeah, I'm just fresh off the army camp.
If you're listening to this right now and wondering, hey, why is this a premiere instead of a live stream? Well, once again, Foreign is serving the nation on National Day weekend, no less. We thank you for your service, my good friend. And so we're coming at you with another taped edition of Kick to the Gut.
Don't worry, it'll be the last one. And I will be back live every Monday afternoon. I can't wait, bro.
Absolutely. I mean, moving ahead, we got SummerSlam, we got NXT TakeOver coming up, and we're definitely coming on live after, that Monday for our hot takes and whatnot. But as always, it's Mr. Young.
And it's Foreign in the building. Bro, this past week, I think we gonna hit by another wave.
Oh my God. Not
bro,
the
third wave. Yeah, third wave, not
wave.
COVID,
No, thank goodness it's not COVID. No, it's third wave of releases, but we'll get to that in just a bit. I just want to very quickly point out, by the way, that, it being National Day weekend and everything, and we are recording this on a Saturday afternoon. Hopefully there are no big, wrestling news articles that are going to come out. Remember last week when we recorded, we were like, all right, yeah, it's done. Okay, Foreign, you can go rest, everything. Nothing should happen over the weekend, right? And then, Bray Wyatt.
Bro, walao, that was early Sunday morning, after midnight.
Yeah.
I don't know, when do you get the news? Do you wake up to that news?
I woke up to your text, bro. I'm sorry, what?
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, so I was the one that was being a night owl, chilling, doing my thing in the middle of the night, and then suddenly open up, refresh Instagram feed. Bray Wyatt has been released.
Oh boy.
What?
Okay, so we will, that is arguably the biggest release of recent memory. We will get to that a bit later on the show because we are talking about this third wave of releases. I guess we can lump it all together. But thank you so much for listening to the podcast. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, we thank you. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, we thank you as well. Hey, do us a favor, hit that like, hit subscribe on all those platforms if you haven't already done so.
Yes, bro. We are trying to get hitting our first mark of 100 subscribers on YouTube. Very slow,
Sweet.
Very steady. Instagram as well. We're almost hitting 500 followers. Bro, this is really a groundswell.
Yeah, man.
This is like discovering your indie band before they make it.
Kick to the Gut. Those are our socials. Go hit us up there. In the meantime, talking about a local flavor, it being National Day and everything, can we please give a shout out for Sean Tan, aka Trexus, right now? You saw his Instagram post, didn't you?
Of course, brother. I am so proud. I think this is one of the times, right? When you watch your favorite band make it big, or you watch your favorite player or performer or whatever it is get discovered by the mainstream. Seeing Sean Tan, aka Trexus, from the very very what do you call it? Humble beginnings of Yunus, Yunus CC, Kampung Ubi CC, all the way to Orlando, Florida, NXT, shaking hands with the man, the godfather of NXT himself, the game, Triple H.
That's right,
How
the boss.
How mind-blowing was it, bro?
It was incredible just to see them next to each other. And of course, Sean was, decked out in full suit. Looking very dapper, looking very good. All the best to him, whatever he's doing there right now. However, they're training him. And we definitely are eagerly anticipating his big debut on NXT TV.
Yeah, speaking of which, bro, there was some nice classic suit that he was wearing. He's a new drip god, bro.
Okay, maybe not. Maybe that one is still Seth Rollins' thing, right? But man, it'll be interesting to see where he goes. And let's forget about all the naysayers. And there's always going to be haters, lah. You know what I mean? Oh, Singaporean cannot do it, lah. Look, we need to stand behind our athletes, and this goes beyond that. I know, there was a lot of keyboard warriors talking shit about Joseph Schooling. He didn't do so well in this year's Olympics. I'm like, bruh, get off your computer and swim first, then talk, okay? You know what?
It's crazy. Yeah.
Here's the thing, right? I saw someone post something about, the country needs to be big. It needs to have high GDP. It's hello, we have high GDP. It's just that our focus. And I think you can agree with me on this. Singapore's focus has never been, or has rarely ever been, on sports.
Yep.
So how do you expect, if we don't grow a sporting nation, how do you expect gold medals, silver medals, bronze medals? You know what I mean? So this is, like you say, from the ground, we need to build it. We need to put it in our minds that, yes, we can be sportsmen, we can be sportswomen, and tearing them down does us absolutely no good. Imagine the child who's like, growing up, I want to be a football player. Cannot lah. Or I want to be a swimmer. Look at Joseph Schooling. Cannot lah. Then we'll never have sports athletes, stars from Singapore like that, with that mentality.
Whether it's sportsmen, whether it's creatives in the art scene, whether it's musicians. I mean, these are roads less traveled.
Yes.
But I think what we can do as Singaporeans is be open-minded and create pathways where it's possible to succeed. When they talk about the GDP, having a small population, all that, I say bullshit to all of that because, let me use a football analogy. Croatia, bro.
Yeah.
Croatia has a similar population to Singapore.
Okay.
Almost about 4 million, pretty small. But they are the recent World Cup finalists.
Yeah.
They've produced like amazing footballers.
Hey, Petr Cech is Croatian, right?
Petr Cech, yes, you know Petr Cech, Luka Modric, and a whole bunch of other people. And another one, Iceland. Iceland has an even smaller population than Singapore, bro. And they all living in the snow-capped city, bro. It's like the Winterfell there in Iceland. And then they can still produce, some a great football team. The point I'm trying to make is, you're right. It's not about the size or the lack of people. Is what you do with that manpower. So right now, it's very clear. Our society growing up, we focus on education, trying to have a stable, successful career, making money. I think I read somewhere that we have like the highest percentage of millionaires per square feet or per citizen or something like that.
Easy.
I mean, we're definitely not one of them, lah.
No, but can we give a shout out to one of these millionaires and maybe fund some local wrestling? Yeah, we need a local Tony Khan.
We need a local Tony. I mean, I want to give you another great example from football in the Singapore Premier League.
Sure.
Do you know that we have a millionaire backing a football team in S League right now?
Is it? Which team is this?
The formerly known as Home United. They are now called Lion City Sailors. Do you know who owns them now, bro?
Who?
This guy called Forrest Liu, if I'm not wrong.
Who?
He's the CEO of Shopee, bro.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Shopee?
Yeah. Shopee. And I think Shopee also is like the parent company. I think it's like Forest Corp or whatever. I can't remember
Right.
You would know better lah. I think you SEA or something like that. I think that's the.
I don't know, but obviously the guy's balling out of control. Now he has his own football team.
Bro, he is Singapore's first private team owner, and he actually just did S League's first ever multi-million-dollar signing. Like they signed a guy from Portugal or something like that, like a Portuguese team. Legit, bro. And it only happened this year. So they just did their name branding this year because previously they were owned by Home Team lah, SAFFC, Home Team, whatever, right? But then they sold that rights and got bought over by this Shopee CEO, and they changed their whole rebranding earlier this season. Bro, damn funny, bro. Now I look at the Shopee 8.8 sale, the national this year, right?
Yeah.
All the Lion City Sailor players are the one that brand ambassador.
Oh, there's all that brand connection already. This fellow owns everything. It's like Tony Khan and the Jacksonville Jaguars and AEW all got connection already.
Yes, correct. So I think it's great that you have the creative person, the creative director, aka the wrestlers at this point in time. But we need the money, man.
Money, the dollar bills, y'all. So yeah, bring it all back to we need to support our fellow countrymen and women in these endeavors. Tearing them down will do no good.
Yeah, I mean, and also speaking about population, we are too small to be having too much infighting, bro.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah, everyone should like pull together in the same wagon. And of course, you're talking about the Olympics, it's happening right now. And yes, our sportsmen didn't perform up to so-called expectations. But the fact of the matter is they are in the Olympics representing us in a pandemic environment. Imagine training.
Yeah. And we have our first leg spike of the weekend. Wow, I love where this froze, by the way. Bro, your face looks epic right now. Woo! Okay, there you go. We rode through it.
Duck lips. I saw that as well. I saw the froze. Oh dear. Okay. Let's hope this one of the few ones. Touch wood.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, continue.
You said touch wood and then you touch somewhere below like the waist, so I don't know what wood you're touching, bro. Anyway. This all leads back to like we talked about pro wrestling and it just froze again. while Foreign was wiping his nose with tissue paper. Alamak.
Oh dear God. Okay. I hope it's okay.
Okay, so anyway, let's move on then. Let's talk about this week before we talk about the latest releases, right? Anything... Okay, I don't know if you're going to be shocked by this, but guess which show I enjoyed the most this week? Out of Raw, NXT, Dynamite, SmackDown.
Bro, you already gave it away.
What?
You say you're shocked by it, so probably AEW lah.
Okay lah, I guess, because I have the reputation of being the anti-AEW guy, right? But just looking at what went down on Raw, NXT, and not to say that NXT was bad. I thought, okay, this week my rankings, quote-unquote rankings was Dynamite, NXT, and then Raw, and then SmackDown. Which is actually quite surprising because SmackDown has been knocking it out of the park, right? But actually, you know what? Like Raw and SmackDown were both kind of boring. Actually, now that I think about it, like
interesting.
Yeah. So let's talk about Raw first of all. The biggest thing to come out of Raw is Goldberg accepting, or rather Lashley accepting Goldberg's challenge. They gave them promo time, and whenever you give Goldberg promo time, it is a mistake. No, bro, cannot, bro. Like, he's never been a promo guy. He just comes in, destroys people, yells, leaves, right?
Somebody's writing his scripts, and very bad scripts at that, bro.
Yeah, like, and he's not like, if let's say you tell me someone writes The Rock scripts. Well, The Rock is an incredible actor, performer. He can pull it off. Goldberg is not that man. Goldberg can only go out there, yell, and leave.
Yeah, he's just... So far his promos, bro, he just comes to the ring and screams like some encik like that.
Yeah. Angry old man.
Yeah, and you know what's the biggest takeaway from that whole segment, bro?
What?
Goldberg's son aged like 10 years, 5 years or something like that, bro.
He hit his growth spurt, bro. So, okay, like, is this going to be a thing? Like, obviously, they are trying to make it personal, right? Up the stakes as well. I get it. I get the inclusion of the son. He's probably going to be there at SummerSlam as well. He'll have some sort of interaction with MVP. Are you looking forward to this main event, or this big match?
Unless, bro, Goldberg and Lashley fight for the custody of Goldberg's son match, then I have nothing to look forward to this match. But honestly, it's just gonna what? I think they try to make this tagline like, is he gonna die by the spear? Wow, I literally cringe. I was like, is this really the slogan they're going for? Okay.
They both have the spear as the finisher, and that's the saying, right? You live by the spear, you die by the spear. Yeah. No, this is not an interesting... Like, to me, Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal is more interesting.
Drew McIntyre pulling out a sword, right, bro? He's like next level boss, bro.
And swinging it at people, I was like, wow, okay, they're going there.
Are they going to do decapitation live on Raw or some shit?
Bro, you know what's going to happen, right? You know they're leading up to it. Punjabi prison match. Wait for it. With the sword hanging in the middle of the Punjabi prison. And then when you get the sword, you can use the sword to hack down the walls.
You know what I thought when you said, you know what they're going to build up towards?
What?
Picture in picture. Sword promotion at the same time this was happening.
Hey, no.
Pizza cutting.
This is not AEW, okay? They won't do this sort of thing. So I'm interested to see where this is going, considering, like Drew McIntyre literally tried to murder a bunch of people with a sword on live TV.
Yeah, actually I really enjoyed it. And I think, right, I like the fact that all 4 men, right, in this so-called program, including Jinder Mahal's henchmen, all are big horse-looking men.
Yeah. It's a big horse fight, lah. Okay, like, I mean, Veer and Shanky, they're obviously the lackeys. They are there to get beat down, right?
Yeah. I think, the inside joke going on is like the Bollywood boys took some steroids and these are basically the Bollywood boys, level up, evolved version.
Yeah, their final evolution. So, okay, there's that. There's the whole Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, Nikki Ash deal. I mean, they put over Nikki Ash at the end.
Yeah.
With the no-holds-barred match. Yeah.
I actually enjoyed that main event match.
Same. I think if anything, that was the match that saved the whole show for me.
Yeah.
And everything in between was just a bunch of filler. Really,
Keith Lee, Karrion Kross.
I consider that filler because, like, so they just trade this 50-50 booking, right? So last week, Karrion Kross won. This week, Keith Lee won. Keith Lee hasn't won. Like, this is his first match that he's won after returning 2 weeks ago. So it's like Like, oh, like there's no momentum here. I don't know why they are fighting. Karrion Kross is like dead on arrival to me. The crowd has no reaction. Like literally sitting on their hands, like quiet.
I think Karrion Kross has been the most, if I could put it on record, the most underwhelming NXT champion they've ever had in history.
Yep. Well, like I said, right? When they called him up to Raw, he showed up for the first time. I'm like, he's not even killing it in NXT. He wasn't even like a hot champion in NXT. No. Let alone you're going to bring him to Raw.
Do you still feel that there are two really different characters between him in NXT and him in Raw, or they feel like they're still the same person but just badly booked?
Same person but badly booked.
Okay.
He hasn't found his like character. He hasn't found himself, I feel. So he's just cutting these like very generic, like, they're not dumb promos by any means. They're not yelling promos, but they're also not very captivating. Like if I miss his promo, I didn't miss anything.
Okay. And I also feel the thing about this match is it didn't build both of them. I think if nothing else, it made both look worse.
Yep. We know they can go, and it's just terrible booking. Main event style just doesn't work at all. They should just go back to NXT.
Yeah, I think honestly, the less we talk about Raw, the better. I think I was just talking to somebody. I think it's probably the Shadow on Instagram DM, and then he said like, I don't even watch Raw at all. I even barely watch highlights. And I said I only watch Raw because of the podcast, just so that we can talk about it. And then he said, "Thank you for your service."
Well, here's the thing, right? A lot of people say that you just need two marquee feuds: main event feud, second main event feud. Everything else in between is a filler, and that was what the Attitude Era was. But it was not. Like even and we talked about this before, mid-card, lower mid-card, all they had their stupid little silly storylines that were kind of interesting. So if you didn't care about Stone Cold for whatever reason, you cared about Perry Saturn and Moppy. You cared about, some whatever Dean Malenko trying to be a ladies' man. Okay, they're trying to do a story between Mansoor and Mustafa Ali. Again, 50-50 booking, right? Last week they won. This week Mace and T-Bar win, and then Mustafa Ali saved Mansoor. So you're like, oh, is he coming around? Are they going to become a tag team?
Yeah. And also, I mean, for me, it kind of felt like, yes, last week it felt interesting. This week it felt forgettable. So I don't know, like they can't keep the momentum going. I tell you somebody that's keeping his momentum going. I think Jomo is still forever a reason for me to tune in.
Well, and that's why they put him up against Damian Priest. It was quite obvious that Damian Priest went over because they're like, okay, please give this guy a rub. We are trying everything we can. We put him with the Bad Bunny, also like no heat because we dropped the ball right after WrestleMania.
I really don't like the fact that there's no like succession plan from NXT to main roster.
Yeah,
it's as if they completely ignore whatever they've achieved in NXT and like, okay, here, fresh code, you start again from the bottom. I don't like it because we know what happens in NXT in such a way. Because how can we get invested?
Yeah, if
we know the moment they go to the main roster, they're gonna get cheated on.
Didn't they, when they're talking about Charlotte Flair's like title reigns, right? Didn't they remove her NXT title reigns? They count, like, I can't remember what the exact number was, but when they mention her title reign, it's like less because they've minused off the NXT. So it's almost in a way, they're saying, NXT is the B show or is the C or the developmental show. But bro, NXT is on USA as well.
Yeah.
So I don't like. I guess you could have an argument if NXT was still like only on the WWE network. It's like an internet show, right? But no, bro. NXT has been in the mainstream on TV, so I don't get this book. It almost feels like somebody up there is maybe Vince saying, these are just developmentals. Doesn't count.
If you really want to make it a B show, right, you should just make 205 Live and main event a B show. Because nobody watches that shit.
True. I have a plane flying by or something. I keep hearing loud noises. So if you hear rumbling, you know. And also one more thing before we move on to the next show. Reggie. I couldn't care less about Reggie. Somebody apparently is very high up on Reggie because we see him every week doing 24/7 championship matches, and they're just like him somersaulting here and there, and you can tell from the commentators the way they are hyping him. They've been told
to push him.
Yeah, someone at the back is like, okay, push this guy, make him like likable. He's not.
He's the thing about him, right? He reminds me of James Ellsworth, but James Ellsworth, right? He outstayed his welcome a bit longer.
Yeah.
or like he was still a bit lovable before he turned into annoying. But Reginald from the get-go, he already annoying. So like, how can we? The only thing that is keeping him, I guess, so-called somewhat interesting is his athleticism, right? People like to see him doing his flips.
But do we really? We see it once. Okay, it's wow. Second, third time, fourth time, maybe still okay. Fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth time. We've talked about this before. You can do 1,000,001 flips, but if you do it every single week and sometimes twice a week because it's 24/7, right? It outstays its welcome. Like, there's nothing new anymore unless he's doing new flips, but he's doing the same flips. Not to say that it's not easy to do these flips. Obviously, he's very athletic, but beyond that, who is he? What is he? What is his character? Oh, he's Reggie. Hey, I can do flips. Like, what?
One positive, I think, from that whole segment is the fact that the 24/7 title has been being defended in actual matches. So if nothing else, that at least they're trying to put some effort into building segments.
You know
not
what?
them chasing them behind the scenes.
Bro, I would rather see R-Truth do stupid weird shit backstage than this. I'll be honest. This is a waste of time. Absolutely, because it's not a match. The match is bullshit. If you watch these matches, it's Reggie flipping around whoever he's up against, and it's like always Tozawa, the Luchas, you know what I mean? It's like, they're there to lose to freaking Reginald. So might as well make it a backstage segment that will go by quickly. Instead of having entrances, they come down, he does flips. It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean. But that's the thing, they have to fill up those 3 hours, right? And maybe somebody backstage looks at Reggie and thinks like, oh wow, this guy. Okay lah, give him 10 minutes.
Tell better stories then, or have him do his flip off like a car, or you know what I mean. Do it backstage.
Yeah, not a fan.
No, absolutely.
The only thing I appreciate is just okay. At least they're putting in effort. 2 years too late, but at least they're putting in effort in the 24/7 title.
Raw, lots of talent, just shittiest booking.
Shitty storylines. I don't care. I don't care about Alexa Bliss, and that is very hard for me to do.
Bro, I don't even remember what she did this week.
Something with Eva Marie, Dewdrop.
I don't care. I don't care about Dewdrop anymore. I don't care about Eva Marie.
Yeah.
I mean,
somebody needs to get Randy Orton back because I don't want Riddle to outstay his worker. I mean, I love him. I enjoy him, but like, we want that payoff really, really soon.
Yeah. I think it's safe to say that Riddle and Nikki Ash are probably the maybe kind of the most compelling things on Raw right now, because Riddle and like AJ are going to collide or something like that lah. You got triple threat. You got, I guess, okay, for the mainstream fans, maybe Oldberg and Lashley.
I mean, even that also is tough to say.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on then. Let's not dwell on the shit. NXT. Okay, NXT. I actually really, really enjoyed NXT. But they always deliver good shows. Rich Holland is back destroying everybody, as he should, right?
Yes. The payoff, to index, I guess, is also the thing that really caught my attention.
Yeah. I mean, that is the main event. And we'll get to that in just a bit, right? Let's talk about Roderick Strong, Bobby Fish first, though. The big money match, as Malcolm Bivens put it. Like, I mean, it was a hard-hitting match, but I felt like, okay lah.
It felt like an NXT breakout tournament match, in my opinion.
And unfortunately, the breakout tournament I also like kind of didn't really pay attention to as well.
Yeah.
Grizzled Young Veterans, LA Knight, Cameron Grimes. Okay, I was interested to see whether, are they going to make Knight and Grimes like unwilling partners? Like they pick up the win and then they become friends.
Yeah.
But no, LA Knight like left Cameron Grimes out to dry. And then the $1 Million Man came back and supported Grimes. So I'm like, okay, I'm interested to see where this goes.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the payoff is there's going to be some sort of match where Grimes can fight for his freedom, I guess.
So freedom versus the $1 Million belt? I don't know.
Yeah. One thing I like about Grimes is he seems to make anything. He's really like, you throw anything, any scenario, right, he can make it entertaining.
It's like Eddie back in the day. Like, even he's in some shit angle, he'll give it his all and he'll make it work.
Yeah. And honestly, he's outshining LA Knight in all his segments together.
Yeah. I mean, LA Knight winning the $1 Million title is exactly that. He is just getting a prop put on him, and he needed the prop. So just in hindsight, when you look back, that was the right winner, because Cameron Grimes doesn't need the $1 Million title at all.
Yeah. In fact, LA Knight needs it, because without it, he's kind of boring.
Yep. And even right now, if they move on with the feud, like if let's say Choi, knock on wood, but if Cameron Grimes were to get injured, right? I think LA Knight would just sink.
Yeah, he's kind of propping up LA Knight if you think about it that way.
Yeah. Karrion Kross, Samoa Joe, obviously they're building towards that big main event at TakeOver. So yeah, like they provoked each other. Security guards got in the way, and every time our security guards come out, I try to see, hey, got Singaporean or not, got Sean or not, got Traxxas, yeah. But I think this week don't have.
Yeah, the thing is, I think if I'm not wrong, it's a tape show this past week on NXT because of the Olympics and stuff like that. But they really need to build up Cross and Joe real fast. Like, yeah, it's building up. Yeah. But every time you're building it up, right, then Raw happens and like the momentum of Karrion Kross is taken away. So how are we supposed to believe that Karrion Kross can believably defend his title against Samoa Joe if you watch Raw? Okay,
so the question is, right, and like, how do you see this going? Samoa Joe winning the NXT title again?
Yeah, of course.
At TakeOver, really?
Yes, for the third time. I think that's the only way. I think Karrion Kross is just going to be relegated to Raw undercut.
Oh, God.
Going forward.
And then Scarlett will have to just show up and just be
Scarlett
his
will
valet.
save the day. Scarlett will do what Zelina Vega did for Idolo. Because remember when he came out, he was floundering.
Yeah. And then, like, when he had... So, okay, the same template, I guess. Oh, his woman is there and now he can perform better or whatever the case may be, right? That in itself, though, is not a good gimmick or character. It's like, oh, you rely on somebody else to be better, you know?
Yeah, but I'm on the plus side, I'm excited to see Samoa Joe back in the ring.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure he's well refreshed. It's been a year out. I think the last time I probably was in the ring was 2020 Royal Rumble.
Yep. It's been a long time. And I think also like for the NXT crowd, they know and they are hungry to see him in the ring and winning the title. So it's going to be a big moment, I think, NXT TakeOver. I can't wait.
I want the roster to build around him.
Yeah.
He'll be that fighting champion that will build up and lift up a lot of the so-called almost there performers in NXT.
So, okay, question. Who are the almost there performers? When you think about it, it's no longer Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa. Those guys are like the veterans, so they'll take a back seat, right?
Mm-hmm. No longer Bronson Reed because he got released.
And yes, we will get to that in a bit.
Well, if you want my take, I think Isaiah, so Scott.
But he's currently holding on to the North American title. He's like mid-card.
Yeah, he is mid-card. What I'm saying, but if you're talking about like the one to next like rise up to that main event level, probably after his entire feud with Legado, he should get up. Especially with Hit Row. I think Hit Row can be like a main event faction.
The only issue I find with that is Hit Row right now, they are face. As much as they want to act like they are heels, they are face. People are cheering Hit Row. Oh, also, I realized one thing, right? You know the chant Hit Row is in the song and everything, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't that remind you of another chant?
Goldberg.
A little bit. It's only the Hit Row's one only has like a little bit more musicality to it. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Hit Row. But actually, if you think about it, it's the same as Goldberg.
Very funny how like things get repurposed through the eras.
And this one, but this one you put it into a song, it becomes super catchy. So I mean, the wrestling fan in me wants to think they did that on purpose, as in they know, okay, let's the Goldberg, why don't we do Hit Row, but then have it like in a song, in a popular way, popular culture way.
I don't think there is that correlation. But probably coincidence. It's probably coincidence.
You think
in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think the point you're trying to make is who's going to be the next challenger to Samoa Joe, and probably has to be a heel, right, to step up to him. Here's the thing, because there's a lot of NXT contracts that just came up. If this guy's NXT contract didn't come up, I thought he would have been the next in line. Remember they keep teasing Samoa Joe versus Pete Dunne?
Oh yeah.
Right. So But then, did you hear the news about Pete Dunne's contract?
Yeah, it's same as Adam Cole. Apparently, it's up soon and they haven't renewed. But that could just mean they're just renegotiating and he could be in line, right? But it makes sense if you see the way he's been booked, the way Adam Cole's been booked. They've kind of been like in the background. Yeah, they're rehashing old feuds because they're biding their time to see whether they'll resign or not.
Yeah, and for Adam Cole's case, I really think, honestly, his run in NXT is it's over. Like everything that he's done has run its course, if you think about it.
You know, somebody asked me about it, and I honestly feel that he would do better in AEW. Because you're right. Like, he's done everything he needs to do in NXT. So your options are go to AEW and start a new fresh run and see how far you can push it. Or B, stay in NXT and become like a Johnny Gargano or a Tommaso Ciampa. Become the grizzled veterans who are there to put over young talent.
If he were to go to the main roster, I think he's gonna sink.
No, bro. If he went,
I don't think.
No, he's gonna be involved in the 24/7 title scene. Or
he will
something.
fight Reginald soon enough. Yeah,
man.
Probably Vince McMahon doesn't see him because of his lack of style, unfortunately. But if you go to AEW, he got a history with the Elite. You know, he can. There's so many people from the Bullet Club, so called, that he can face.
Yeah.
So I
his
think
wife is there, Britt Baker.
His wife is a champion there. And there's also reports that he always hangs out in AEW all the time to support his wife. So it's like almost like a no-brainer, right?
Yeah, it kind of makes sense. So just to put a bow on NXT, so main event, Johnny Gargano, Dexter Lumis, love her or lose her match. I mean, I really enjoyed the hell out of it. I love how they oversell, Beth oversells this romance, like, oh shit, like the way she fawns over it. Like, Beth is starting to win me over with that. And the fact that, okay, Johnny Gargano still won, meaning the Index cannot be a thing, right? But then at the end, as they were leaving, Indy Hartwell runs towards Dexter Lumis and gives him a kiss.
Finally.
Yes. So you had Johnny Gargano still win, which is a bit of a swerve. Because I think everyone thought that Dexter Lumis would win. But you still have the big payoff. She's like, fuck it. I don't care about anything. I just want my man.
And then, of course, this will definitely gonna spill over into NXT TakeOver 36. I really think that it's great that they did the swerve so that they can have an even bigger payoff down the road. Yeah.
I don't know how Austin Theory is going to factor into this at some point, but I don't know. As long as they don't do an Indy Hartwell on a pole match.
They found Austin Theory already, or not? He still disappeared.
He disappeared, yeah. Hey, Scully, bro, next week Austin Theory has been released.
Shit. They already released somebody from Diamond Mine, right? The Tyler Rust.
Yes, they did. Okay, let's move on to AEW Dynamite, which not surprisingly, they've been gaining a lot of momentum. As like we always talk about, one show gets momentum, the other shows go down, up, down. You know, like I don't think there's been a moment where both WWE and AEW products were firing on full cylinders.
I agree, but that's the great thing about having an alternative, right? One momentum swings one way, the other one may be in a dump. We can focus on another show, and then once it swings back, you can focus on this show.
And this AEW Dynamite argument is very clear. Like, we talk about the whole format of you have two main feuds, and the rest is just a bunch of chapalang rubbish, right? Okay, so this is exactly what this was. Okay, not exactly, but we'll get into it, I suppose. You kick off the show with Labor Part 3, or Labors of Jericho number 3, Jericho versus Juventud.
Every time I think of Juventud, of course I think about The Rock's promo.
Yeah. What was it?
It's something about like, you think you can come here and talk to The Rock just because you're wrestling matches with Juventud?
Yeah, who the hell is who? So, okay. The stipulation is that Chris Jericho has to win with a top rope move. And honestly, I thought he would just do a body splash off the top. But no! Chris Jericho did a Judas effect off the top rope, and it looked good.
Yeah. It reminded me, if I'm not wrong, he's done it before in WWE. Like, I'm pretty sure he's done like a top rope elbow.
But I mean, look at his size now. He looked like a flying potato. Okay.
Bro, he looked like a flying pig. Okay, never mind. Okay. As a long-time fan, how does it feel to see Juventud versus Jericho in 2021, bro?
You know what? They put on a good match. It wasn't bad by any stretch of the imagination. You know, I was like, can they still do it? They can. And it was a fun way to end. But like I said, okay, I don't know why their booking feels to me very ass backwards.
Very terbalik,
yeah. Now the fourth labor is, we go back to Wardlow lah. But I'm like, Wardlow has been a member of the Inner Circle. I know they made it like what? MJF is the special guest referee.
So the thing about it is, it, right, it's like we thought this is gonna be like a Chris Jericho retirement tour, like go through all his eras. I really wanted it, right, because they did like their New Japan persona with the Painmaker.
Yeah.
They did the WCW Cruiserweight persona.
Yeah.
You know what I would have enjoyed?
What?
If he were to do like an Attitude Era throwback.
Okay, but who would he fight? Chavo?
No, I mean like somebody from the Attitude Era that is in AEW that he can wrestle.
Who?
I'm thinking either like a Big Show or like a Christian, anyone that is in AEW that was somebody that he squared off with back in the Attitude Era.
Actually, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Maybe they don't want to reference WWE.
Maybe. Because I was thinking like some of his so-called great like undercut feuds for the IC title and stuff like that. Didn't he have that? Remember that WrestleMania match he had with Christian?
Oh yeah.
He bet one
Canadian dollar. Yeah, I remember for over like Trish Stratus or something like that. Yeah. But I mean, at this point, Christian is a face, so he wouldn't, do that.
That's why if they had kind of done more storytelling or set it up better, they could have done this thing where he had to reluctantly face Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
And like if he won, he would have been able to contend for the title or something. And then like MJF probably have done some deal like, okay, you have to do this. You got no choice, blah, blah, blah.
I see what you mean. So yeah, it just feels like a bit of a letdown that, the next step is, it's Wardlow. It's another member of the Pineapple. So it's like, okay lah, we're retrading that. I'm not excited for the next label.
Yeah, it's boring.
Yeah. Okay, I guess there's the stipulation of if MGF is the ref, how the hell is Chris Jericho going to win? It's impossible, right?
If I believe so, there will be 5 labels in total. So is the 5th label going to still be one more different match? Or is that going to be the match with MJF?
No, I think the 5th label has to be like one more match before he can face. So, I mean, we will obviously find out what that 5th match is after he beats Wardlow lor?
This is what I would call, right, a great placeholder feud. Or like a great, something like a TV feud.
Yeah.
So before he fights MJF, there is still 5 weeks of TV to fill up. Why not make it interesting and something you can look forward to by making such a challenge?
Bro, how about this? For the 5th label, and they feuded before in WWE. You talk about like not maybe after the Attitude Era, Chris Jericho versus Kurt Angle. Can you imagine if they managed to book Kurt Angle?
Holy crap. Well, that would be interesting, man.
Because they feuded for the IC title before.
Yeah. And I'm thinking some of like, Chris Jericho's greatest rivalries in WWE.
Yeah.
A lot of it actually is talent that is right now in AEW. Like they can retread it.
Yeah. Okay, like
interesting.
Big Show cannot because he's technically not cleared or not a wrestler.
Possible.
Oh, you know what? Actually, the label, right? Why don't they just have him do an arm wrestling match with the Big Show?
Something smart.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt them both.
Yeah.
And can humiliate Chris Jericho, and that's what probably MJF wants, right?
Yeah. So and then somehow they can have Chris Jericho win, eke out a victory, whatever. I mean, we can armchair book all we want. Like at the end of the day, we'll see where this goes.
Why I like this is not considered the top feud. This is considered probably a mid card, or like even I can even consider it not say it's undercut, but like it's not one of the marquee feuds going to all out. Yeah. But still, we are dedicating time talking about it because it's interesting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, kudos to AEW right now. They have like at least 3 or 4 interesting storylines going on the show. And that's why AEW Dynamite was, to me, the best show this entire week. So, okay, moving on from the labors segments, we had, Miro squashing somebody.
You know what? I really love this version of Miro.
Yeah, he's he's like the Goldberg lah, but he talks more and...
Yeah, and his whole thing about him being the Redeemer God's favorite champion, just everything about his verbiage, it's so confident. He's really feeling himself as a performer. You see how he performs?
Yeah.
Even in a squash match, I find it interesting. I really like what he did at the end of the match. After he gave the accolade, then he go like sayang Lee Johnson a bit.
Right. Yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah, I mean, the question is, of course, who's the person who will step up to him lah?
Yes. I kind of I kind of want him to go on a long streak of squashes, bro, to be honest.
Yeah, build him like a Goldberg, just undefeated streak. Thank God we've moved away from best friends, best man, rather.
He is great. Do you hear his theme song, bro? Got this like horn, like very majestic.
Oh, yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, what? They really going all in on this like super religious, spiritual kind of shit, man.
Does it feel like to me, like you compare AEW in its first few months versus AEW now that there's less of, how do I even put it this nicely without being disrespectful? It doesn't seem like so much of an indie show anymore. You don't have like the freaking best friends mucking around, taking up a main event slot or upper mid-card slot. You have like proper like, like badasses. Like this really feels more and more like an Attitude Era vibe for Dynamite.
Yeah, and another interesting fact is that most of the wrestlers that sign in year 0, right, they're on 3-year contracts.
Oh.
So if you think about it, by the end of this year, a lot of their contracts are coming up. Maybe finally Tony Khan can do a few spring cleaning. And Sonny Kiss, I think Joey Janela, I think,
Yeah, you can go TNA, Impact. You can, meanwhile, they're like, okay, come over here, Adam Cole, come over here, Bray Wyatt,
Yeah, I mean, like, I would take that Adam Cole over
Joey Janela.
What? Whoever from Best Friends, Chuck Taylor any day,
The librarian.
The freaking librarian. Like, even AEW Dark also, I think, is too high of a stage for them,
Wow, damn bad. I thought I was bad already. Okay, trios match. Jon Moxley, Eddie Kingston, Darby Allin versus 2.0 and Daniel Garcia. Who the fuck? Yeah, so this is your filler lah. So this is your excuse to put big names beating out a bunch of nobodies.
Bro, the 2.0 like very familiar, bro. Are they from NXT?
I don't know. But they act very there's something very familiar about that vibe. You're right.
I think, right? Okay, but you can check on right now if you want. I think they are Everrise, bro.
No lah, it's not Everrise lah. Everrise are still in NXT.
Really? I thought I just saw Everrise on NXT a few days ago, but then this 2.0, they look like the people from Everrise.
Oh, wait, you're right. It is Everrise. What? Wait, hang on. I need to Google this shit.
Since when? Oh, the Everrise got released in the previous batch from the few episodes that we talked about ago.
I guess. Wait, I didn't even realize they got released.
Okay, first of all, this is a detriment to Everrise because I've never recognized their faces.
Yeah.
And then the fact that they have been repackaged, I can't even tell who they are.
Yes, yeah. Wait. I'm looking at a video right now. Hit Row. So they literally just got released and then they ended up. How come they have no compete clause? Maybe
they're not that important.
Or maybe they have really part-time contract or what lah.
Yeah, okay, I don't know about your opinion of Everrise playing in NXT. I always consider them like one of the street profits, one of the private party. They're just high flyers.
Not even, I don't even see them. Yeah, they are like the shit version of all those groups. But
one point I wanted to make about this match, right, which I found entertaining, is do you see the one spot that one of the 2.0 guys, they like fanboy over Sting?
Oh, I missed it. Bro, this match didn't do anything for me. I'll be very honest. I did not pay attention.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't. I had it on the background and kind of stuff. But something that I saw that was very funny because of course they're getting owned, right?
Yeah.
So Moxley or somebody threw one of them out of the ring, and he landed right at the feet of Sting. And then he look at him, hey, oh my god, you're really Sting. Oh my god, it's nice to meet you. I'm a big fan. They really fanboy.
Oh, okay.
And because of that, and then Sting just looked at him hello, you have a match going on.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Darby Allin just bullet dive through and crash into it. So I thought it was funny because they are playing out the fact that they are a bunch of nobodies and they get to be, in this ring getting squashed
in the presence of greatness as it were.
Yeah. I think the time on on AEW will be as short as Jon Moxley's hairline right now.
Oh god. They're definitely going back to dark, which is fine. They need time to grow and improve stuff like that. Layla Hirsch versus the Bunny.
Interesting match. Okay,
Hey.
this was for the NWA Women's title.
Yeah, to be a contender for the NWA Women's title, not the AEW Women's Championship, which is Britt Baker. So,
what's your thoughts on this match?
I guess they're doing talent exchange. Yeah, it was okay lah. I mean, it was one of those matches that was like, oh, okay lah, it's happening, and there are no stakes to me lah, because the NWA is like a different federation that I don't watch. So like, it's hard for me to care.
Did you see Camille, the NWA champion, coming up at the end of the match to confront the winner?
No, I did not.
Okay, I need to tell you what happened. So like Layla Hirsch won against the Bunny, and Layla Hirsch, I really like her vibe. Like she seems to be like a legit like shooter wrestler, but she damn short, bro. She's very short, even shorter than Riho, bro. Like she really looks like a young girl.
Yeah, but she's a tank.
Yeah, she's a tank. She's strong, and probably she's faced that all her life. People commenting about her height. But then when Camille came out, and you know how Camille is built, you've seen a bit of the NWA, right? She looks like the second coming of like China or Beth Phoenix or something, bro. She really got the Amazon vibes.
Right.
And then when she came in to confront Layla Hirsch, bro. Oh, can you hear?
Yeah, you're all right.
Like Layla Hirsch looked up at her, right? She never even reached her bosom level. So it looks like a mom,
girl.
right? Like shoving the belt on a baby like that.
Yeah.
Look at the
so
belt.
the question is, are they going to wrestle on NWA television?
I think they are, because they have an all-women's pay-per-view coming out called Empower.
Okay, there you go.
Where Mickie James is probably one of the ones spearheading it. So yeah, I think good lah. Talent exchange, eyes on another product, helping everyone. Yeah.
Okay, then moving on, then we have Christian versus the Blade. Don't care. I really don't.
Yeah, the only thing that was interesting about this was Christian announcing himself as a number one contender.
Yeah, but we kind of know we're not going to see that. Kind of. I don't know. Like, and then there was this whole thing with the Dark Order and Hangman Page, right? Like, don't come out. I want to be on my own. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Which
they're
feels
really
a bit
teasing this, bro. They're really teasing Adam Page and this whole championship title chase.
Okay lah, dragging it out, I guess. And then there was the spot where the Elite had him beaten up in the ring, and then the Dark Order came up, but they're like, no. He doesn't want this. This is not what he wants. Let him have what he wants. So I guess got a bit of drama lah. So not bad.
Bro, I'm getting some Index vibes.
Oh my god.
Index vibe, but not in a like they love each other kind of way. But it's more of like
bromance, bro.
They want this bromance to work, but then he feels he doesn't deserve this love.
Yeah.
Oh no, am I worthy? And I just hope it all culminates in what everyone wants.
Yes.
Adam Page becoming the champion in the end.
Which takes us to like the title, the main title, AEW title, right? Did you see that segment with the Elite backstage playing basketball?
Yes, I did, and I know what you want to talk about.
Their outfits, right?
Yes.
So okay, somebody posted this, and it was interesting. So it fits their persona, because they're supposed to be these like fucking online trolls.
Fucking spoilers everywhere. It's fucking
Easter eggs.
Easter eggs.
Yeah. So you had the what's his name already? Luke Gallows in the back wearing a robe. Ric Flair. You had Kenny Omega wearing a Cookie Monster t-shirt. CM Punk. You had the Young Bucks wearing Hawaiian shirts.
Who's that?
Bray Wyatt.
Oh, okay.
As
cool.
in OG, like the Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt used to wear those like loud Hawaiian shirts, remember?
Yes.
So so that whole segment, it was interesting. They were freaking annoying as shit, which is what they are supposed to do, right? And they are, for the internet fans, they are teasing like these guys who were just released. So they're very, you can tell they're very in the know. They're on the pulse.
They really got WCW vibes, bro.
Got.
I mean, you lived through that era. So like one thing I think about WCW is they always have some sort of response to something that happens like on WWE. Like they will always talk about it the week after and try to hint about it all the time. But
they are like when you talk about WCW, WWE, the war, right? Theirs was more like they're brushing them off. Don't watch us. Don't watch them. Watch us. We got more exciting stuff. Whereas the Elite, they are like it's like the Marvel movies where they hide one Easter egg there. You know, they are like, it's like a wink, if you know, you know, and if you know, you are part of our cool club, which is quite smart of them. I have to give them props for that.
I think AEW is perfect for this generation of fans.
Yep.
Because this kind of wrestling fans, you know, they've been spoiled by Marvel. So what they want spoilers. They want not spoilers. They want Easter eggs,
callbacks, sort of hidden messages, wing. No, and you know what it is? At the end of the day, right? It appeals to that sort of a mindset where, I'm special because I know I caught the reference. I'm very clever. You're dumb. You know, they look at the WWE fans as if, you're all mindless sheep. You're all following the big, you know, like, big corporation. Yeah,
and what I kind of appreciate is that the wrestling fans and comic book fans, I think, have a lot of similarities.
Oh yeah, a lot of crossover.
So comic book fans, they can tell you which edition, which storyline, which multiverse, whatever it is, right? And they can derive such a long history of comic book lore. And wrestling, pro wrestling as a general, is also like that. I mean, they have like lifetimes worth of lore.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
you can play off. We don't forget anything. We even remember a wrestler's debut gimmick, you know, in freaking indies, that kind of thing. For long-term fans, like even something like that, like casual people won't really know that reference. But you see something like Cookie Monster, and then the crowd pop, and they're like, okay, all these smart fans know what they're talking about.
Yeah. So at least NXT tries to do it because I think Shawn Michaels and Triple H, they are slightly younger and they're more aware. Whereas on the main show, it's really very like, if we don't say it happened, it didn't happen because we are the main show. I really believe somewhere along the line, some fucker in Vince's ear, or it's like, okay, no, we cannot do these indies, like, you know, reference all this indie stuff. We are the main, you know, show, so we have to push aside NXT. I really feel like there was that line being drawn.
Either they don't acknowledge it at all, or they overdo it and beat you over the head with it until you fucking get, no, it's not cool anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I don't understand why they can't. I think it is what it is. Like, I think we've touched on it, right? AEW right now, especially with that elite group, they are on the pulse of this generation. WWE are not. As much as they try to, they are not.
They are not until new management comes in, or I think Triple H is really going to be the savior, because everything that's been good in terms of creative comes from Triple H.
Triple H and Shawn Michaels.
Yes.
That duo,
Yeah, but until that happens, I think the morale in WWE, especially with all these releases, will definitely affect the performance for sure.
But bro, as we talk about this, right, this reminds me of, because, you know, I've been in the media industry as well here in Singapore for 20 years, right? I see a lot of parallels. You have these old codgers in management, in high up places.
Yeah, sure.
You know, I'm not talking about any place in particular.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, you know, I've worked at MediaCorp and whatnot before, right? But a lot of these management types, they are completely out of touch. They hear a buzzword and maybe they are like, all right, we need to do that. That's the buzzword. But they don't really know what it is. So like you said, either they overdo it until it's not cool, or they just don't touch it and just live in their own world. Oh, this is what I know. I made this corporation successful 20 years ago with this formula, and we're sticking with this formula even though it's 20 years later. And that's why,
if I want to liken a local media company to AEW, right? I think AEW in media, they're probably like Mothership.
Yes, you're right.
I mean?
SGAG.
Yeah, Mothership, SGAG, like all these so-called that was the boom of like streaming and YouTube and social media generation. I think what makes Mothership so relatable, I think people trust Mothership more than Straits Times now, bro.
Yeah, I think so too. Because,
in a weird way,
yeah, because they are not afraid to go there. They are not. Yeah, and no, but also at the same time, they don't overdo it as well. So like, yeah, you're right. A lot of their articles have that wink. Okay, you know.
Yeah, and Mothership has technically one overlord in terms of like their real owner behind the scenes, right? But I was just somebody gave me this link of Mothership's who they are hiring, the kind of job roles. And then, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
So what I was saying is like they give me like a link to like the roles that you're trying to hire.
Yeah.
You know, one role that I was like, wow, not bad.
Mm-hmm.
They are looking for a full-time TikTok creator, bro, for Mothership.
That is the way. You see, each platform has its own plus, and you cannot just force people into doing things that they don't know how to do, don't want to do, you know? And that's the problem I see with...
Everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere right now. A bunch, talking about WWE, you know, workplaces here in Singapore, there's this mentality, culture of, I know how this works because I made it work 20 years ago. Newsflash, it's 20 years later, even 5 years later, even 2 years later, things change.
Yeah.
Things explode, and you need like people who are in the know to be in those positions. And you as someone on top, you need to know when to say, I don't know this shit, let somebody else handle it. I'll just oversee everything.
Yeah. I mean, okay, use our platform, for example, Kick to the Gut, right? We started off 2018 purely as a podcast, purely on audio, streaming, and we did it once a week. We had to meet up in person to do it. We had to go to your studio on Power 98 to do it. And look at us 3 years later.
Yeah. I mean, we're doing a live stream.
Everything. Yeah.
Okay, I think it's gonna pour real soon. I don't know if you can hear the thunder.
I heard the thunder.
It is rumbling.
Yeah,
WCW thunder.
Oh dear gosh, not Rampage.
No.
Yeah, so we were saying like look at the podcast now. Like, yes, we still have the audio element, but now we are, you know, putting a lot of priority on the live stream, going into YouTube. Hopefully expanding what we do. I think it's just all to do with scaling up.
Yeah, at the end of the day, just let... I hate saying this because I sound like I don't know lah. Let the young people do their thing and don't stand in their way. That's my advice to bosses and managers.
Yeah.
You don't know any better. You don't know the new shit, right? That's why I feel like I look at some of these kids who are doing what they do now, because you know I do a Twitch stream also, right? Cheap plug, twitch.com/MrYoung98 if you'd like to watch me play horror games and stuff like that. But I look at all these young kids and what they do, and the drive, the hustle, and the innovation. It's out of this world, and I learn from them. And I think a lot of what is the problem is a lot of these older folk in management, they refuse. I'm experienced. I should know everything. They don't want to learn from other people. It's not ignorance. It's more like I feel like it's shame. They feel like it's shameful to learn from the younger people.
It's beneath them.
It's beneath them, yeah. So I think that's the mentality that needs to go away. And coming back to the WWE, I think that's the issue, the main issue with Raw right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's great, Mr. Young, you know, the fact that you are so open-minded. I don't think a lot of people from your generation would be like that, you know.
Hey, what? You're making me sound old, bro. What do you mean? A lot of people from my generation.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you the same thing I'm telling myself as well, bro, because I'm not that young as well. Like, I'm constantly learning from people like a generation younger than me.
Yeah.
I'm only now starting to appreciate TikTok, for example.
Bro, TikTok passe already, bro. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, what's
next?
Who knows? Like, what's the next big thing in the next couple of years? So you have to stay on the pulse.
I tell you,
everything in like
bro,
entertainment.
I tell you what's the next big thing, bro. Malakai Black. Okay, let's get to the main event right now.
Yeah. Good segue.
I think what made Dynamite the most interesting show to me was the main event. Okay, and I'll tell you that I enjoyed the entire main event. Can you guess which part I hated the most?
Of course I know, bro. Of course I know. Let's not talk about it yet. Let's talk about how awesome Malakai Black's entrance was.
Yes, he was wearing that mask. Was freaking something out of a nightmare, right? Looked damn cool.
Fucking Shao Kahn vibes, bro.
Shao Kahn vibes. I kind of missed his whole like thing with the NXT, but whatever, like it is what it is, right?
Even the music, even though it's new, it still fits his vibe.
Yeah,
it's a continuation.
It does.
Yeah.
So okay, the match itself, I wouldn't say it's a squash, but it was quite one-sided, which is good in that they put over Black hard, right?
Yeah. Only one thing I didn't like about the match was the very choreographed drop from Cody Rhodes on top of the turnbuckle.
I tried to forgive it because it is a complicated spot. Like, okay, for those who didn't watch it, so Cody was on the top turnbuckle. Malakai Black jumps up to the top turnbuckle to deliver a knee, which is in itself a very impressive feat, right?
Yep.
And then you can see instead of like immediately upon impact throwing himself back off the top rope onto the table, he took a second to and push himself off.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I get it. You can't like nail it perfectly because he might miss the table. You
want to be safe.
But it still looked there. I know it looked hokey. It's just like a half a second delay. Like he hits him, then he's like, oh, jump.
You know how he would have done it better? I'm not saying that I'm an expert or anything, but you know, if you want to have a delayed reaction, some people, you know, when they kena like knee in the face, then they have this stone moment, like then it slowly, gradually drops.
That's fine, but you know what the problem with this spot is, right? And maybe it's on them for not thinking of a simpler spot, because he, as in Cody, had to fly all the way to the ring, the timekeeper's table.
The ring bell area, right?
Yeah, which is quite far. So he has to brace and jump, brace and push himself back. You know what I mean? If it was him just falling back, then the table would have to be closer, and that wouldn't have made any sense. Why would the table be so close to the ring post?
I remember a spot from a match like years ago. I can't remember exactly who are the wrestlers. I think maybe it's I remember now. One Night Stand, RVD, John Cena. So what RVD did was he does his like leap onto the top turnbuckle, and then immediately John Cena just got up and just like push him.
Oh, yeah. No, but you see that one, he pushed him from the back. So, and this one was perfect timing. Like the second he like touched his ass, he leapt forward. So it looks like he pushed him.
It makes sense, right?
Yeah. Whereas in this one, he jumps up to knee him, but he didn't brace himself like half a second earlier. And we are talking about like really half a second, like, you know, choreography. So I can kind of forgive it, but it looks hokey as fuck.
A bit complicated. Yeah, I understand. But other than that, I think the match like really showed Malakai Black's dominance. They really treated him like a star. And I really like JR's call. Do you hear his call? From the way he called the ending, right? Obviously, he did the black mass, put his legs on top. He said something that made me assume, right, or suspect that I don't think JR has ever seen a Aleister Black match before.
Yes, he said, I know what you're saying. Like, the vibe I got from JR was like, well, he's never seen a Malakai Black match, which could be a good thing. It makes his reaction real.
Yeah, so that's the point I'm trying to make, because when he did the black mass and put his leg on top, he said something like, nah, that's not going to end the match, right? But he didn't, I don't think he knew that was his finisher. So and then when he actually counted to 3, he was like, oh my God, it did. A very authentic reaction. I like that.
Yeah. He got put over big, which is what he needed. I don't know why Agogo didn't get the same treatment, or anybody else that Cody tried to freaking put over. But
well, Agogo, I guess, is a rookie compared to Malakai Black. I think Malakai Black from the start, from the get-go, he needs to be treated like a star. And they did. The only thing that almost cocked up this entire debut was the end.
Oh my God. Okay. I fucking didn't get the end. Like, at first I thought that it was going one way and I actually was into it. I'll tell you what I thought they were doing. I thought, so at the end, he Black Mass, he loses, Malakai Black disappears. Who was it who went into the ring to interview Cody? Whatever, it doesn't matter. He gets the mic. Tony, right?
Schiavone.
Tony Schiavone. So he gets the mic and he starts rambling. I thought that they were trying to sell the fact that he was so knocked out that he's rambling rubbish.
Oh, okay.
That's what I thought. Then I realized, no, he's acting. He's dragging it out because he wants to retire. He takes off his fucking boot, right? I'm like, huh? Okay, I'm sorry. You're not like Undertaker at WrestleMania. This is not Sting at some big pay-per-view after a big match. Like, why the fuck are you retiring out of the blue? Like,
okay,
what?
Okay, in among us Malay people, right? We got this term. We got this quote. You know the meaning of syok sendiri, right?
Your own self syok,
Yeah, or world. You know world, right?
What's world?
This guy world.
Huh? Oh, as in in his own world,
Yes, he thinks so shook of himself. You think like, wow, just because he lose a squash match, he want to retire, then people will be sad for him. You know what it achieves?
What?
I was so scared because it almost meant that he was trying to take the spotlight away from Malakai Black.
Yes.
And you know what you hate about him, right? You always talk about how he's so dramatic.
Yeah.
He thinks he's so highly of himself, like everything he does is such a big deal. And then the crowd, right, was like, I don't really care.
Yeah. No, it's like, it makes no sense. Okay, in a way, I think I know where they got this idea from. MMA. Because I don't know if you've noticed, there are sometimes, like, these fighters, after they lose, they will be like, actually, that was my last match. They will like retire.
Okay. Like Khabib or whoever.
Yeah. It's happened actually quite a few times before. Like in the moment, they like get upset, whatever. So maybe he was going for that. But I hated the fact that he dragged it out, like made it whole, like you see, Ashok Sindili, like this big fucking spectacle, take off the boot, like show off his socks, all that shit.
Okay, it could have almost worked, but you know what gave it away?
What?
Again, is JR. I love JR, bro.
What did JR say?
You know how JR don't give a fuck, right?
Yeah.
So like he didn't even bother to try to sell the retirement, bro.
Yeah.
You know, he said like, okay, so when Cody Rhodes opened his boot, then JR said, well, I guess that's what wrestlers usually do when they want to retire, I guess.
Yeah, he no sold it. Yeah.
The way he say is like very matter of fact, like, okay, he wants to retire. Then I'm like, hey, JR, at least have some sort of like sadness or some shit lah.
Kudos, like it's a very interesting dynamic right now. You have the JR who, like you said, doesn't give a fuck, right?
Yeah.
And then you have Excalibur who's like trying to what's he doing? Is what he's doing what I think he's doing? Like he's trying his best to hype the moment, and JR's like, well, I guess that's why.
Okay, if nothing else, right, bro?
Yeah.
I know we have like our disagreements about JR's commentary and all that, but can we just keep him on the commentary booth just to be the Bobby Heenan, like the guy who he don't give a fuck. He's just gonna say whatever he thinks, and he's just gonna call it straight. Like be authentic.
Not even the Bobby Heenan. No. I think he's beyond. He's his own like thing. He's the angry, bitter old guy who just doesn't give a fuck anymore.
And that can be a character, in itself.
No, yeah, and it totally is right now. And then you have the, Excalibur who's like, oh, trying to sell it. Like it's. Yeah. And can I say that I think Excalibur has improved a lot since he's, and I think that's the only thing you can do when you're working with veterans like Shivani and JR. So kudos to him that he's actually sort of taking their advice, and he's become this, like, I can tell what he's doing and I appreciate what he's doing, because a lot of what I do is also like hyping a moment, selling a product,
Yeah.
And I see that he's trying to tell the story. It's just that you juxtapose that with JR's, whatever, no sell.
Okay, if I want to compare the WWE commentary, right, I think Michael Cole is obviously Shivani. Shivani is the guy that kind of holds the glue together.
Yeah.
And his voice is very comforting. I really like Shivani's everything he does. And maybe Excalibur is like a slightly not polished yet Corey Graves, Like he's...
Oh, bro, no, I disagree with that 100%.
Oh, wait, hear me out.
I feel like he's more like a Byron Saxton.
So just this overly eager, trying to,
smart guy.
The thing about Corey Graves, the similarity I feel is that because Corey Graves is very educated about the product, so I like how he gives a lot of context, especially to the newer guys, and like get you in the know, and that's where I feel like he is like the knowledge guy.
But I feel like Corey Graves is a much better storyteller in that, and he also has an edge where he's like a bad, like he has more of a bad boy vibe, whereas Excalibur has a, well, for lack of a better term, nerd vibe.
A guy wearing a mask on commentary, definitely a nerd.
Yeah. So whereas like Corey is a cool guy,
Yeah.
So
but JR, I think JR is I can't say he's like King, because King is very stuck in his ways. So he feels very of a bygone era. But JR, I think he is quite kept to the new product. Yeah. But he's just very he's not gonna bullshit you, and I think I appreciate that as an audience.
Actually, you know who is kind of like that, but in a cooler, younger way? Samoa Joe.
Okay, yeah.
Like
I can see that.
Yeah, Samoa Joe is like, oh yeah, he's getting beat up right now. Like he's not going to be, oh no, the poor guy, how can they do this? He doesn't. He's not that guy. That's the Excalibur role. That's the Michael Cole role.
Yeah. Oh my God. Do you remember that one time on commentary where Samoa Joe say, "We wish AJ Styles well as he recovers with his wife." Then he stares at the camera. He's like,
yeah, like a hint, hint, wing, wing, right? I mean, you have the love moments like that. There's like a nod to us fans who kind of like, no, you know? So, okay, Dynamite, by far the most interesting show this week.
and it's considered to me a kind of a low show compared to the last 2 weeks, because last week a lot of shit happened.
But, okay, I think that the Malakai Black stuff sort of like was a huge thing for me, like anyway, personally.
Lifted it up, yeah.
Except for the ending.
Yeah, I want to talk about something that they announced. So obviously Rampage is happening next week. So they're gonna debut Rampage, and they, speaking of commentary teams, they said that the main commentary team going forward for Rampage will be Excalibur as the main guy, surrounded by if I'm not wrong, Chris Jericho.
Wow.
Yeah, Chris Jericho and Big Show. Was it Big Show or Mark Henry? One of the bigger guys.
I thought Henry was supposed to be the guy.
Was it Henry? Yeah, Henry and then Tess.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's a four-man commentary booth.
Hey, really? They all. Why everybody?
Very interesting. I don't know whether like Chris Jericho like a guest star or something. I don't know. But I guess Rampage is gonna be like the young broadcast team. And like the main guy, like the stars, placeholder, the bastions are of course the main roster guys lah. The main commentary team.
I mean, to me this sounds like, tune in because you know there's the Big Show and they're just using their name value, and they are doing commentary work, so might as well put them there as well, right?
Yes.
It's not a big deal to me. I don't find it particularly exciting. Like Chris Jericho on commentary maybe, but not Mark Henry.
I have no idea what's Henry going to be like on commentary. The thing is, the first show on Rampage debuts next week, right? But the real show that everyone's looking forward to is the second episode of Rampage.
Is that the one in Chicago?
Yes, the first dance. So I like that they're spreading out all these big shows.
Yeah.
Maybe even one of the matches where maybe Kenny Omega and Christian have that match can be in one of these Rampage shows.
Maybe it could be on Rampage, and then CM Punk comes out and says, "Oh no, I'm the real champion," and then there you go.
Do you really think that it's really gonna be CM Punk?
I don't know. I hope so. They've hyped themselves into a corner where if it's anything but CM Punk, it's going to be a letdown. Yeah.
Okay, if it was CM Punk, the fact that they have been teasing him so much, do you think it's a letdown? Do you prefer it was like a complete shock, or actually you like the fact that there have been Easter eggs?
Yeah, definitely the Easter eggs, and give me our payoff. This is one of those moments you want it to be what they've been teasing. You don't want anything else, unless it's Daniel Bryan.
Okay, like for me, like when it was a shock was Sting arriving. Remember Winter is coming?
Yeah.
Nobody saw that Winter is coming meant Sting, but it was a pleasant shock.
Yeah.
So far, I don't think AEW has done any like hinted debuts that really went off well.
Bro,
not that I know of.
Bro, now I know already. Bro, listen to me. This is it. Okay, breaking news. Broken to the internet by a kick to the gut.
What?
What is Rampage, the second episode tagline again?
The first dance.
The first dance. It is the debut of Fandango.
Fuck all lah. You know what? Actually, that would be funny.
It's like troll, ultimate troll. Oh my god, can you imagine this whole time? Oh, CM Punk is fucking Fandango come out.
Didn't WWE did something like that?
Did they?
Okay. Do you remember in 2016? Then they say they're gonna hype the return of a famous Hollywood star to Raw.
Okay.
And then like he went backstage. It was the start of Raw, right? Yeah. And then he went, and then there was like a limousine, and then out came The Miz. Fresh from his marine filming.
Right.
Everyone booed, and then as he was walking, then suddenly a huge ass like truck came and blocked his way. And it was The Rock.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
kind of tease.
Maybe they could do that. Fandango shows up and then he gets beat down by CM Punk. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I whatever it is, I hope it's big. I hope it's just gonna set like the wrestling Twitter
on fire,
or social media on fire, because good business in wrestling is good episodes and topics for us to talk about.
Yes, that's right. Controversy creates cash.
Yes.
So we move on from AEW Dynamite to SmackDown, and man, the momentum of SmackDown just took a nosedive. I don't know if it's because Cena wasn't on this episode, we couldn't see him, but it and okay, let's just talk about the other stuff that went down, right? So you have the Usos and Mysterios. They're still a thing, but kind of they're just basically trading matches left and right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of bored with that. Shinsuke versus Apollo is going to be a thing, I'm sure, at SummerSlam.
Okay. Well, the main story, I guess, at the beginning was the one kicking off the show was Sasha returning.
Oh yeah.
Sasha, issuing the rematch from WrestleMania. I like the vibe. I like that they brought up Selena Vega because Selena Vega actually has a point. What's happening in the women's scene, right? It's actually reminiscent of what's happening in the main event scene.
Okay.
Because Selena Vega is like a Finn Balor at this point.
Oh, she's the in-between. She's the one that they will put in matches with in this three-way, right?
Yeah.
To fight in between before the actual match. So yeah, and we talked about this, right? Like this whole Finn Balor situation. Because honestly, there's nothing else. Oh, okay, there's Edge and Seth Rollins. I mean, they're obviously not the main feud. They are like the Chris Jericho MJF feud right now.
Yeah. At this point in time, I think Edge and Rollins is like the Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle feud.
Yeah, they don't need a title. They can just go and have a great match.
Yeah.
So there's not much to talk about on that as well. You had the Street Profits come out and faced off against the Dirty Dogs to waste time.
SmackDown, right, bro? I think it's in a holding pattern. You know why? Because most of the matches are set.
Yeah, true.
We are just waiting for the final SmackDown Go Home show happening next week, and I hope that is the one Go Home show where finally Roman Reigns and John Cena can have that face to face.
Yes.
Because they haven't done it yet, right?
Yeah. So So that's why to buy time in between, you have Finn Balor.
Yes, and of course, what happened was Finn Balor got his ass kicked at the end of SmackDown. But he did squash Baron Corbin. I hope that. Yeah, I mean, I hope that Baron Corbin and Finn Balor at least have something that they can do on some at least get Finn Balor on the card lah.
Well, I mean, with the Usos beating down Finn Balor, if anything, it could be Finn Balor and somebody versus the Usos.
Maybe. Or because obviously Rey Mysterio and Dominic is gonna get involved at some point. Maybe they can do a 6-man.
Oh god!
Oh my god! I just booked next week's match. They confirmed they will have a 6-man, right, bro?
Yeah.
With Finn Balor, the Mysterios versus the Usos and Baron Corbin.
Oh,
confirmed.
There you go. Yeah, that makes sense. So actually, when are we going to see the Roman Reigns Finn Balor 1-on-1 though? The Go Home show?
I think that this is going to be the one that continues the momentum after SummerSlam when John Cena leaves.
Right.
But there was something that he said in the promo that I found very interesting. Because he said he wasn't done with John Cena. So I don't mind Finn Balor, have John Cena put over him. Why not?
Yeah, well, I mean, he also went on about how, the old Finn Balor, this is the new Finn Balor. So and he did the finger thing. So there are some like Prince vibes, not as cutting as the NXT Prince, but at least it's not happy, smiling, show off abs Prince Balor. I mean, Finn Balor.
One thing about NXT Prince, right, is that he cut some awesome, like, badass promos.
Yeah, he did.
And I feel like they need to keep that element in SmackDown going forward. Like, when he does his backstage promo, he doesn't have to be in the ring and talk.
Yeah.
I want him to do those backstage vignettes and, like, really double down on his character.
Yeah.
So when he next faces Roman Reigns, people feel like it's a threat. Because right now, they don't really make him look like a threat.
If anything, like, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure the NXT promos that he did, he just scripted it himself. It was genuinely him. I'm just afraid that on SmackDown, he's just going to get promos written for him and they're just going to sound like shit,
Yeah. But do you see him like that he will stay on the main roster, on the main event scene going forward?
Yeah. Like you said, he's either the filler in between now in SummerSlam, or moving ahead, him and Roman Reigns they'll continue their feud. So this is just planting the seeds towards the next big event, because I don't see Finn Balor as like the champion. He's just the challenger at this point.
Yeah. Do you see one backstage segment where Big E kind of confronted Paul Heyman?
And then he held the briefcase like, hey, don't forget
he
me.
was smiling like a creepy ass guy.
Yeah. I mean, it's very on brand with him, and it's a good reminder like, hey, anything could happen, okay? Don't be too confident,
I like it. Like, if nothing else, you talk about SmackDown, even though today it might be a down show, it might be a little boring, but nothing with Roman Reigns segments are boring.
Yeah.
Like there's always something to look forward, something newsworthy.
Like you said, the road is already paved, and that's why it's just a straight road. That's why it felt a little bit flat today, because it's already settled. We don't have to worry about it, right?
Yeah, our hype for SummerSlam is like building up, like regardless of the shit that's been happening, like the releases and all that. Like, okay, I can still pull through to SummerSlam.
And talking about the releases, well, let's get to it. So, okay, last week, the big one that we missed, because like we said, we recorded the show on a weekend instead of the Monday, right? And then on Sunday morning, guess what? The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, released by the WWE.
Unbelievable, bro. And I have no reaction at first. I was like, sitting there in shock and thinking like, how can they fire their Undertaker of this generation?
Yeah, literally the guy who doesn't actually have to wrestle that much and still sells merchandise. And maybe that is the reason. Because, you see, the Fiend character is owned by WWE. Technically, you could get anybody to play it.
But not with that amount of credit. It's like almost asking someone to play Diesel and Razor Ramon. People can see right through it.
Yeah, or like fake Undertaker lah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, if it was a contractual thing, like, okay, you're not wrestling enough for us to justify this amount of money, or like, I read the dirt sheets they were talking about how he was getting more and more guarded about his character because he thought that the writers didn't know what the hell to do with the Fiend. So management probably looked at him as being, he's being he doesn't want to play ball, and he's costing us this much amount. So, okay, never mind, just let him go lah. We can still sell Fiend merchandise, you know?
Well, you brought up a very interesting point about fake Undertaker. What if they create a fake Fiend character?
Yeah, they totally could. They should just get somebody of similar build, put it on jacket, wear the face mask. You can't tell already what.
Yeah, but then give it 1 year. And then bring back Bray Wyatt next year, then suddenly become fake Fiend versus real Fiend SummerSlam.
Oh god, 2022. He really becomes the Undertaker of our generation, huh?
I don't see a situation where they don't bring him back.
No. A lot of these releases, especially in the previous years, we've seen, right? It's really been a case of like, WWE seems like a rotating door more and more. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if next week, by the way, maybe tomorrow morning, we'll get this news. NXT signs Bray Wyatt.
There was this one funny tweet that I saw. Breaking news. WWE has come to terms with the release of everyone. I cannot, yeah.
Yeah. They're really doing this spring cleaning bullshit.
The spring cleaning went to the summer, bro. Become summer cleaning already.
Yeah. Okay, to be fair, like if he does show up, let's say at AEW, imagine the weird shit he will get to do. Can you imagine him taking over the Dark Order and then like turning the Dark Order into an actually scary group instead of this kind of comedy group that they have now?
A few landing points that people have like put out, I thought was really, really interesting. So yes, correct. One of them is the Dark Order following or taking over Brody Lee's legacy. But I think he wouldn't do that because he talked about how close he was to Brody Lee, and he said he always wanted to pay tribute to Brody Lee, but he doesn't want to overshadow Brody Lee with what he the path that he was trying to forge by himself in AEW.
Sure.
So if nothing else, right, I think he will be the main antagonist to the Dark Order.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay.
Interesting, right? So that's one idea. Another idea somebody proposed is keep him off TV for a long time, like maybe half a year, let him rest, let him recover, and then when Malakai Black is as big and as crazy over as like the main bad guy out there and no one can beat him, one dark supernatural character versus the other. Bring Bray Wyatt.
And
that
okay,
interesting, yeah.
Let's not forget that WWE also released his brother Bo Dallas. So technically, we could have them come back as some kind of brother duo.
I saw a interesting hashtag that Bray Wyatt put out. It's he I think it was in reference to like an old photo of himself.
Yeah.
And then the hashtag was Cult, KULT. It's not spelled CULT, KULT, Cult of Windham.
Wyndham, okay, that's his name, right? Wyndham Rotunda.
Yes, that's his real name. So what if, right, bro, finally he can be more of himself instead of creating like a character, and then play along to the Windham like legacy, because he never really used that as part of his storylines before.
Well, I mean, he's played the cult leader before, so I think that sort of creative mind, I'm sure he'll make it work. Like, he's not going to not find a job. I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like what Braun Strowman put out on his Twitter. He said something like, like I'm coming as well, or like join us, something along those lines. So like I think both of them might link up. Alexa Bliss, we have to think about how this affects her character going forward, because obviously her character right now is a rip off of the Fiend. So if you don't have the main guy, what do you do with this fake character?
Well, I mean,
springed out character.
If you think a spin-off character, if you think about it in terms of management, I'm looking at it. Let's say I'm putting myself in the manager's shoes, right? In creative shoes. I'm like, okay lah, we got rid of the main one. Now we have a Fiend in Alexa Bliss. We can continue to sell the Fiend merchandise through Alexa Bliss. So no problem.
Yeah. And I don't think like Bray has any issues with Alexa. If nothing else, she will probably say, you know what, go forward, I give you my blessing, continue this storyline. Yeah, it's just that where does this lead Bray Wyatt to go? Like, I think Bray needs to go Hollywood.
What?
Yeah.
For fuck, and do TV shows?
I just feel like he's such a creative mind, right? Keeping him in wrestling probably is almost underselling his real value. Like, he needs to diversify. Like, okay, I'm not saying like go full-time Hollywood.
Yeah.
But I can imagine him like, being horror shows. Like, his acting is so good. He probably can do cameos.
Yeah. He would be like obviously a great in a horror movie lah, as the antagonist.
Correct. Like, I wouldn't put him like, of course, The Rock, John Cena level. But you know who he can be as famous as?
Who?
Probably like Roddy Piper in Hollywood. Like a B-movie villain or horror lead, something like that.
Right. Okay. I mean, that's a solid thing. Well, I mean, it all depends on what he wants to do after, however much time he takes. Let's move on then. So from there, we had another man, and we alluded to him earlier, the jet flying, kiss stealing, son of a gun, Ric Flair. They've come to terms with his release. It sounds like he asked for the release.
Yeah.
And what does this mean?
Bro, this is a very obvious landing point. Ric Flair on TNT. Of course, it's going to happen sooner or later. Why not?
Him and Anderson can, hang out backstage.
Bro, they got 3/4 of the original Horsemen if Ric Flair joins them.
Yes, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Right.
Oh,
they
God.
got, what's her name? Other than Anderson, who's the other guy?
Tully Blanchard.
Sean Spears. Tully Blanchard. Is it 3/4? What?
It's 3/4 already? Yeah. Wow. The last thing I want to see is a Four Horsemen reunion, though. Like, I mean...
Yeah, because they have reunited so many times.
Yeah.
But I feel like Ric Flair just feels right to be on a wrestling show on TNT.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe he just wants to retire. How about that?
Well, there was some reports saying that he was very, disappointed with the storyline with Lacey Evans, the fact that he had to go through that.
Yep.
That turned him off. But if that's the case, he would have already quit right after that situation. But it's like half a year later. So I believe that maybe Tony Khan, being Tony Khan, wants to snap up a big, recognizable mainstream name like Ric Flair, parade him all over TNT, use his mainstream so-called appeal, and then like get more eyes on TNT. Like, because like, you remember Ric Flair? Woo, Ric Flair drip, blah, blah, blah. Like, you can go watch him on AEW now.
I'll get that big payday lah. And if anything, also maybe he wants to go there and keep tabs on his son-in-law.
Oh, yes. You're talking about Conrad, right?
No, the other one.
Oh, the other one, El Idolo.
Andrade El Idolo.
For some reason, I keep thinking Conrad Thompson.
What the hell?
Technically also a son-in-law, okay.
Yeah. So, but I mean, okay lah. In terms of like what it means, to me, if he does go AEW, and there's literally nowhere else he's gonna go, right? He's not gonna fucking go to Impact or ROH or whatever at NWA. No, he's going to. If he's gonna show up anywhere, it's gonna be AEW. He's just gonna take on that mentor role, which we've seen a million times on AEW, and then he's just gonna be like a side note lah. Which to me, I'm like, I'd rather you just show up once in a while, and relive those moments, and that's it.
Can we say that AEW at least treats their legends better than WWE right now?
In what way? Like, I mean, WWE, they have a legends contract, and I don't know what that actually means.
That's the thing. Like, I think a lot of the old timers in WWE aren't enjoying their role because they're just a glorified ambassador who just probably does a lot of PR and stuff like that. But I think a lot of veterans, what they want to do is be in and around the ring.
Yeah.
Maybe still have a bit of their star power presence like highlighted, but use it to put over talent.
But how old already Ric Flair? You know what I mean or not? It's like, I really wish that he would just stay home and relax and enjoy the fruits of his labor.
But the problem with somebody like Ric Flair is that guy doesn't want to retire. Like, he
True,
loves the
true.
ring so much. I think if he got a chance to just sit at ringside every single day and watch wrestling, I think he would do it.
That's true.
Just be around the boys. And okay, so it's almost as if like AEW is creating like a legends department. All the wrestlers, okay, you choose your favorite legend you want to work with. Okay, come.
Yeah.
Mix and match.
We will put them with him with you, and then, you know, half the time you won't be around, or you won't actually do anything for them. But you're just there by proxy to give them a rub.
Essentially Jade Roberts lah.
Yeah. So yeah, like I don't really have much to say about the Ric Flair one.
I think Ric Flair at this stage in his career can do whatever he wants, and we are wrestling fans. We will just appreciate that he's alive.
And no, and if anything, like, he might show up on AEW for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then show up on WWE TV, whoever pays him more, and whatever.
I wouldn't put it past him for him to be in AEW for 3 weeks and then go WWE Hall of Fame, and then go back, like switch and back and forth. Like, no one cares.
Yeah, free agent at this point. Like, fuck it. Like, you know, why does he need to be tied down to anything, right? So
yeah, like Bret Hart lah. Bret Hart one month Hall of Fame, induct Anvil. Then the next month, Double or Nothing present their world title.
Exactly. Just give me a payday and I'll be good. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why, to me, that one isn't that big of a piece of news. The big news, obviously, Bray Wyatt, and just today, right? Yep. They didn't really announce this yet, so it got leaked, and then like some of them have confirmed it lah. So these are NXT releases, and the biggest name here, both literally and figuratively, is Bronson Reed, the colossal Bronson Reed.
So sad, no more tsunami.
So okay, like, we both thought that him losing the North American title to Isaiah Swerve Scott was because, all right, it's time to go to the main roster. I think a lot of people thought he was going to the main roster. Maybe he looked at Karrion Kross and went, okay, shit, they're not going to do anything with me on the main roster, so I better zao first.
And this is very interesting because everyone's thinking about Adam Cole and his contract coming up, whether Pete Dunne is gonna move and all that. And then suddenly one time Bronson Reed out of nowhere got released.
Yeah. Well, okay, here's the thing. Adam Cole, you brought up Adam Cole and Pete Dunne, right? Their case is that they are working on like week-to-week contract. So their contract, extensions. Their contract already ran out already. So I think Adam Cole is all the way till SummerSlam, as well as Pete Dunne, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, technically after that, they can go wherever they want. So they're probably still in the midst of like discussing, okay, what do you want? How much compensation? Blah, blah, blah. So whether they completely leave or they stay is still up in the air. So there's no point in really like, but where are they going to go? But like we've talked about, I think if Adam Cole would go to AEW, I think he would flourish there.
Yeah. That's what we've also discussed at the beginning. But Bronson Reed, not that he doesn't have an appeal. I think he's great, but I feel like in AEW he won't really stand out. Like, even though yes, he's a big guy, but he looks like the two guys in Bear Country, you know?
Oh God, yeah, he would be. I agree with you. He would be sort of that. Like, he shows up on AEW a few weeks, they hype him, and then after that they forget about him, and then he's on elevator.
He is not a big enough name. He didn't make himself a big enough name in NXT yet to be considered like a very highly touted agent. Yeah. But there was this one thing that he put out after he got released. He straight away tagged all the major companies.
Yeah, I saw. It's like, wow, okay lor. Good on you, mate.
Yeah, I think let him get hired lah.
Yeah. Bronson. So okay, like on the scale of 1 to 10, this release, shocking. How shocking is it?
I mean, in terms of shock factor, actually quite high. Like 8.
Yeah.
Not because he I didn't think that he will get fired.
But what do you think his impact is after?
Well, unless he challenges Nick Gage in a death match, I think he's just gonna be. You know what's his best landing point in my opinion?
What?
Either Ring of Honor or New Japan.
Right.
I think he will be really good fit in New Japan.
I think so.
I can see it.
I agree with you. Okay, let's move on then. This guy poor thing, Leon Ruff, the super
Leon
skinny
Ruff
guy.
just had more or less a really good rivalry for the NXT North American title with Johnny Gargano, right?
Yeah, where he got bullied lah. Basically, he plays the babyface like he's literally a fresh babyface, skinny guy.
Yeah.
You know, I think he's probably like an ROH guy.
Yeah, I think he'll go back to like the lower
indies.
cut indies.
Yeah,
like second tier indies.
Yeah,
it's probably like a Leo Rush at that.
And then we got Tyler Rust. The Diamond Mine has lost a member. Oh no!
So is Diamond Mine still happening or what? Because like they literally just formed them up, and then one of their members really got.
Never mind. This is recruit some random other fella from NXT to put in there. I mean, he didn't even stand out when before Diamond Mine they tried.
Can I be honest? Like out of this entire list, right? Only like 2 or 3 was like really sad releases. The rest, I'm like, oh okay lah, bye lah.
Oh, it makes sense, right? A bunch of like quote unquote, maybe they didn't see them in the plans type guys. So let's run down the list, right? Like we just mentioned, Leon Ruff, Tyler Rust, Mercedes Martinez. They tried to push. She got into that nonsense feud with Tien Sha, and then she got injured, and then now bye bye.
Yeah, I think she's a veteran at this point, and her time has passed.
Yep.
It's not that she's gonna be like the mixed big WWE star and something like that. So yeah, I think I can see her in NWA.
Yeah. It really seems like that they are just focusing on the young up and coming talent, which is actually to me very scary. It's like you have such a small shelf life to impress. It seems when you get signed to the PC. And if you don't impress, like, okay, see you later. Maybe you'll have better luck outside and then we'll bring you back.
Maybe. And also we had to take into account the fact like these wrestlers, they haven't even had a chance to be on NXT for very long.
Yeah.
So they're probably like at performance center recruits, that they are releasing.
It is what it is, I guess. Bobby Fish is the other one. So we've lost one member of the Undisputed Era.
We might lose another.
Oh,
so
yeah, exactly.
The only one that's going to stay back is what? Kyle O'Reilly is going to be the main star coming out of Undisputed Era.
I wouldn't be surprised if he also gets released soon. Okay, then we got Ari Sterling, no idea who that is. Jake Atlas. They were pushing him for a bit, and like this is another case. Kona Reeves is another one. These two are another case of I remember them trying to push them, but they were kind of bland, and now they're releasing them, so I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah. There was a statistic someone put out that WWE has released about almost 50 wrestlers in this last 1 year.
Yeah.
If you're gonna combine like this year and last year and that kind of stuff, and it honestly it's really needed because they do have a lot of wrestlers, but a lot of them are very bland, a lot of forgettable names, not doing much.
Yeah. Which makes me worry lah. Makes me worry for talent they just signed. It's like, can they impress in time before WWE decides to, it's time for another spring cleaning,
For me, I rather they double down on what they have and really, if you really legitimately see talent or they've really performed, and they have a good track record in the company, like don't give up on them. Like, for example, Baron Corbin.
Oh, yeah.
Baron Corbin is, to me, the best example of WWE stayed with this guy because I think behind the scenes, he has great work ethic. I think gets along well with everyone. He tries his best. I think he never even complains about anything that's thrown at him.
Yeah,
that's why they keep giving him new gimmicks. Keep trying to give him a chance to get over. I think, if I'm not wrong, actually he got a lot of things over.
Yeah, like even when he was the lone wolf, he was quite hated. He was a very, very good heel. Even if it was a mid-card heel. Anyway, let me just run down the rest of the names: Zachariah Smith, Asher Hale, Giant Zanjeer, Stephen Smith, and Desmond Troy.
Okay, I didn't know 5 of the last names.
No, me neither. So there you go. The big one is Bronson Reed lah, basically. Mercedes Martinez, Bobby Fish. So
I feel like this one was less shocking than last week's bombshell of Bray Wyatt, of course.
Yeah.
I can even almost understand some of the releases.
I'm looking at the dirt sheets right now, and they're talking about how NXT, they are going to repackage with new logo, new lighting, new format to the show. So they want to focus on younger talent, really making NXT like the developmental brand law.
So there's no longer going to be like the third show roster talent anymore.
But then here's the thing, right? NXT was always the developmental brand. It's just that they did such a good job with it. People started loving it and enjoying it and treating it as a legit brand in itself. So I don't know why they want to like almost shit on their own You know, it really feels like, I think you know what it is. It feels like Triple H pissed off Vince McMahon. It's like, as punishment.
Do you think they got like some sort of civil war in WWE right now?
Yeah, it's like, hey, we cannot have you all outshining us.
Yeah. You know what? I think I have another alternative theory. If you think about it, right, NXT wasn't that big of a brand until they started signing all the huge indie talents.
Yeah.
And here's where I believe, right, there's some sort of thinking backstage. You see, all these indie talent, we sign up and all that. In the end, they're gonna leave us for AEW anyway because they got ties to this indie show, right? So we are not gonna focus on this indie talent anymore. We're gonna really focus on our own recruits from outside the industry.
Oh, I see what you're going for.
So it's almost as they're cleansing themselves of like this talent that's gonna like leverage us. They're gonna take advantage of like play punk with us, right? We really get someone who's just happy to be in WWE and won't be swayed by because they don't have any connection to AEW almost.
Yeah, you know, that actually makes a lot of sense. So like quote unquote only promote the homegrowns, the WWE faithful from the PC all the way up, as opposed to these, like you said, the guys who have made their names on the indies.
Yeah, and the reason why NXT got so huge was because those people that they recruited were draws outside of WWE. Like, okay, you think about the first main guy that really pushed NXT to like a well-regarded division, Finn Balor.
Well, I mean, Samoa Joe,
Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, all these big names with history outside. Tell me the last really NXT recruit, right, from PC that had no prior like huge indie recognition that became NXT champion. I can't think of anyone.
Was Karrion Kross a big indie name?
He was. He had a big run in Impact Wrestling.
Okay, so there
Killer
you go.
Cross.
Maybe that's the thing. So does this mean that moving forward, NXT is going to suffer?
I think there's going to be growing pains. I don't think it will be as big as it was. They're going to really strip it back down and really focus it as a developmental program.
Can you imagine when they talk about new logo and everything, all of a sudden the logo looks like some kid did it on Photoshop, on Microsoft Paint. There's the vibe is developmental, so they really make it like they strip away all the cool bells and whistles that they've had and they make it look like FCW back in the day.
It will become like NXT season 1 game show.
Oh my god, I really hope not. Yeah, like it almost feels like they're punishing them for being successful.
Yeah, seems like a very Vince thing to do.
Ooh, that being said, that just means more shit for us to talk about, and we are grateful for that. And we are grateful for you for watching this on a Monday or on National Day. Happy National Day, by the way. If you are just listening to it after the fact on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, we thank you. We appreciate you.
Yes, thank you so much, guys, for listening to the podcast. Especially last week, we did the Summer of Cena. Next week, hopefully, we're going to do our preview because it's going to be like the final go-home shows before SummerSlam.
Oh, yeah, we're going to have a lot to talk about because, like we mentioned, this year's SummerSlam is quite action-packed, quite interesting in terms of the matchups and everything. So, yeah, I can't wait, bro.
Not forgetting NXT TakeOver 36 as well as AEW Rampage. Can we be seeing CM Punk soon in AEW?
All those things and more. And as always, if you can, do us a favor, drop us a like on all our different platforms. Kick to the Gut on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook.
Yes, please comment on the videos. If you miss the live chat, feel free to comment. We'll always reply. DM us on Instagram. Help us build up the followers.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah, baby. Yeah.
ooh, yeah. Dig it.
Yeah, brother.
With that, hey, if you're listening to this on the Monday, enjoy your National Day holiday. Yeah, man. Take it easy and stay safe, everybody. Oh, it's back to going out for makan, bro.
Yes, of course. I've heard the new, but I can't enjoy. But hopefully I can enjoy it soon.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Huh? Okay, anyway, as always, it's Mr. Young.
And it's 4 in the building. Have a good week.